All right, let me grab a question that's on here. How do you create the most engaging worship experience with only one guitar and drums? Okay, so if you could be like White Stripes, that would be really good because I think they just had a guitar and drums. But think about things like, if your room is smaller, having a full drum set is almost overkill. And think about taking that drummer and stripping it down. And I was at a church not too far from here, and they had a family come in, and you need to pray for this for your church. It was like the Von Trapps came in. They the dad played drums and the mom sang and played guitar and the kids all sang or whatever. And they came in the church, and it was just like it was a game changer. And the dad was a drummer, but he knew better than to put a drum in this room because it was a small little sanctuary. And so what he did is he rigged up a cajon with a pedal, so he could hit it like with his foot, so he didn't have to hit the middle of the cajon. If you don't know what cajon is, ask Adam on the chat there. It's people call it the box drum, but the middle of it sounds like a kick, and the side of it sounds like a snare, and you can get different sounds out of it. And so he would, kind of hit the top for a snare or the top of the front, and then he'd have a hi-hat going on the side, and I think he might have had a ride cymbal. I can't remember. A sweet little setup, but it worked for the room. And so think about that your drums in that case is just going to create kind of the rhythm and keep things going. And your guitar, it's going to be the kind of the glue and everything else that holds things together. As you listen to that 3 G's of arranging, you have to think about that. Like, how do you create dynamics? Because if you're just strumming one volume the whole time and the drummer's just playing the whole time, there's no dynamics there. So, to create that, and you just start with maybe the kick drum and a little bit of chunking on a low string. If you start off, maybe we're doing always, the fools are many, and you're just chunking there. There's a little kick drum going on. Do, 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 do. This is way better in my head than it probably is for you guys. Do, 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 and then, and when we get to the chorus, then you can strum big and maybe have the drums drop out on one, that sort of thing. So this stuff is way better live if you could actually have a full band to try this stuff out with. But think about that. Think about your room. Think about, you have on the guitar, you have the low strings and then you have the high strings, and think about that as a different instrument. So your low strings are kind of the groove and kind of the bass and chunking down there. And then your high strings, you're adding some extra rhythm. You're not always putting those in, or maybe on a softer part, you just have the high strings in there. So that sort of thing. So hopefully that helps. Let's see, Scott, let me grab.